Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Guys, I welcome all of you that have decided to join us for the live tonight. We are going to have a very interesting and also very in-depth discussion about the Dr. Phil show and him talking about or him attempting to discuss what quiet quitting is, what they think quiet quitting is, because based on the video clips that we're gonna go through and react to tonight, they have some misconceptions. And of course, guys, with me tonight, I am bringing our resident. At this point, it ain't a guest. It's our resident. Our resident family, of course, none other than Credit Solutionist. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, girl. Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I was cracking up backstage. I am your resident correspondent now. Like, this is so crazy.
Exactly. At this point, we down like two flat tires. We good.
Totally. Now, we got to make this a thing. Anyway, gosh,
already a thing, darling. We're already Whoopsies, my earring is falling out, but it's okay.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, we're gonna keep going. Now, I want to make sure, guys, that you understand what's really the deal here. Of course, let's first say hello to Mr. Big Daddy Still Rocks.
Hey,
show. Of course, guys, we are here ready for y'all. Of course, as you come in, like, comment, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel or to the Facebook group that you see here, or if you are on Twitter, share this with your group, guys. Share this with your group, because we're going to get into discussion pretty quick. Hello, Miss Mary. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live show. All right, as I try to pick up this earring, I'm talking to y'all. Listen, I want to say first that I'm always of the mindset that if you're going to discuss a topic, I'd like for you to understand the definition first. Don't you agree, Credit Solutionist?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you're going to cover that. Yes.
Okay, because the setup of the show, which we're gonna watch the video in a second, based on the setup of the show, the perception that we had was that Dr. Phil is trying to show that he has both perspectives discussing what he thinks quiet quitting is. However, as you watch the video, you will understand that when there is another type of point of view being presented by the opposing side, Dr. Phil intentionally and deliberately keeps cutting off the side he does not agree with. Okay, we're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna show you, because I can say all I want to say, but y'all see it for yourselves. Now, Credit Solutionist, what is it that you want to at least start off with before we jump into the video?
Well, I thought what you were talking about is amazing, because yes, Dr. Phil did one of the biggest things that is just commentators do it, and I'm sure there's a proper term for it, where when someone's saying something that you don't like and they're about to make a really great point, the host will talk over you. And that's the best tactic that people use in media. But I know you mentioned the definition. So tonight we're talking about quiet quitting, right? So exactly. I don't know. Do you want to delve into the actual definition of it before or after we watch the clip?
Let's get the definition together.
Yeah, so people can kind of get some context about what we're about to actually watch.
Yes, because, we want to make sure we have a good understanding of what quiet quitting actually is. Yes. Because by watching Dr. Phil's show, you wouldn't be able to tell now, would you?
Yeah, I don't know if the guy passed like reading and comprehension. And I think just the phrase quiet quitting already kind of has a connotation to it. That's nothing. It literally does not describe what it is at all.
Okay. Now, I'm going to unshare what I had before. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And I want to share this. Let me pull it separate so you guys can see it properly. Give me a second. I'm working with technology here. It is grand, but I want to make sure I do it right. So,
And while she's doing that, guys, let us know where you're watching from. If you don't want to
yes,
give us your city exactly,
of
tell us what
course.
state or the region of the country, and share this with your people.
Share this with your people, guys, because
Yeah.
we're gonna get into this sugars. Okay. Now, quiet quitting. Please pay attention to the screen. Quiet quitting, as you see right here, quiet quitting is an application of work to rule in which employees work within the defined work hours and engage in work-related activities solely within those hours. Despite the name, the philosophy of quiet quitting is not connected to quitting a job outright, but rather doing precisely what the job requires. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
Where
Okay,
in that, like, I don't see the issue at all. If anybody in the
so
chat does, let us know.
guys, I'm sure other people have thrown SB. Hello, welcome to the show. I am sure there are people out there that have said something different, that have made a perception of something different. That's literally what quiet quitting is. Here is why we had to make sure we establish that definition, because if you watch this Dr. Phil clip or the clips of the show where they're discussing quiet quitting, this is not the meaning or the perception that they're trying or they're attempting to give. Okay. Now, guys, if you are wherever you're watching from the show, drop your city and state, and also drop a 1 in the comments if you like what we are talking about so far. Listen, I want to make sure that y'all enjoying this as much as I am, because as I said, none of these CEOs are above reproach. All right, LASB, welcome to the live. So it's early for you. It's what, 6:30 in the evening? Wonderful.
You must have just got off work. Okay.
Listen, we are happy. We are here. Yes, Miss Mary. What are you saying? Dr. Phil and Dave Ramsey are of the generation where you got the gold watch and pension. Those days, child, those days been over.
Talk about that. I mean, oh my God. Okay, after
Those
you watch
days
this
been
video,
over.
we're
A
about
gold
to go
watch,
in.
ma'am. A gold, what the pension part? I can still get with. Nah, that goes on till you're dead. I can get with the pension part. Can you bring that back? You can keep the gold watch. I can, if I have a decent pension, I can buy my own.
Well, here's the thing. If we could get a pension that is actually a livable amount, how about that?
No, listen. We're not even going.
Okay, because girl, I was about to get heated just now because I'm like, hold on. I went to the vitamin store just now, and that man was definitely over 55. Okay, why is he still working?
Listen,
anyway,
we're gonna talk about we're gonna have to talk about that on another.
That's a whole other topic, girl.
That's a whole other topic for a whole other night. Well, let's jump into this. Let's look at video number 1. It may not be in the actual sequential order, folks. Just keep that in mind. But we're gonna talk about this here. Okay.
Let us know if the audio or anything is,
yeah, if you guys can hear, let me know. I'm gonna play a little bit of it. Now, if it starts rubbing me the wrong way right away, oh, you know I'm gonna stop and get into it. Now, let's go ahead.
You think this makes common sense? Absolutely. Every bit of effort invested by an employee is an investment in something they're hoping to get from a job. Sometimes it's a paycheck, sometimes it's a promotion. If you're asking them to put in extra, there has to be a reason to do extra.
Well, where do you draw the line of what's extra and what's not?
You look at the job description. Quiet quitting is just doing the job you were hired to do within the schedule you've been given to do it.
How do you get ahead if you're a quiet quitter?
Well, you can get ahead as a quiet quitter. One of the logical fallacies we make is we assume that if you're not putting in extra hours all the time and going the extra mile, you're never going to get promoted. There's such a thing as becoming too valuable to promote. If you're producing too much value in the position you are in, the employer has no incentive to move you up. They're going to keep you right there where you're producing good profits for them. What they're going to do is they're going to give that promotion to an outside hire or the boss's kid.
Really? So you said you really
Okay, hold on 1 second. Miss Joan, welcome to the show.
Hey,
come
girl.
on from here, Space Coast, Florida. Welcome. Of course, Credit Solutionist.
I had to say something.
You had to be in. Yeah, of course you don't say it. You are in Virginia. Welcome everybody to the show that has come in. I'm probably gonna stop and start throughout that video. So far, what he says makes sense. That's the employment lawyer because he's absolutely correct. It's only for what you, I'm only going to do the work you hire me to do. Let me say that. Let me put my mug, my big mug in the camera. I'm only going to do what you hire me to do. That is literally what quiet quitting is. No more, no less. For the allotted time, I am hired. I'm driving this in because we're going to hear a whole lot of foolishness in 2.2 seconds. Correct, Credit Solutionist?
Absolutely. I've never heard of being penalized or put down because you're doing the job you were hired to do. Right? Where do they do that? I don't understand.
Oh, it gets better. Let's jump right back in. Hold on a second. Hold on. Woo 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 woo. Give me 2
Woo
seconds.
woo.
What I want to say is woosah because I'm about to need to do woosah.
Present
Uh-huh.
stereotyping this younger generation, these quiet quitters, as all being lazy.
I do, and I don't think it's a generational thing. Whether you've been working your whole life for 30, 40 years in a company, or if you're brand new to the workforce, quiet quitting is really for everyone. It's about setting healthy boundaries and being attentive to what gives us a return in our life and what makes life worth living.
Correct.
What do you think about this?
They're lazy. They are. And again, this is a nice way to say you're lazy. Oh, quiet quitting. I think I saw the thing, slackers and so forth. This does not work for our country. And what worries me is that America and the United States, we are becoming very lazy, very soft. This is not good for our country. I mean, there's like 9.8 billion people in the world. We're 330 million here. There's a lot of countries around the world that hate the United States. And if we're not producing, if we're not working hard, we're going to be, and actually by 2050, China says we're the world power. Now, if we're going to be lazy here and not work hard and produce as a country and work together as a team, you better learn Chinese because in 30 some years, you're going to be speaking Chinese, I believe.
I'm sorry. How
Hey,
did you
that
get
man is
that?
off the hook.
How did you get that? How did China come into the conversation? Number one. Number two. How is doing the job as you're hired to do it turned into you not working hard? How did it go from you doing your job that you're hired to do to lazy? I'm sorry. Did I miss something?
No, and I will tell you, okay, I think,
Did
what's
I miss
happening.
something?
No, absolutely not. I think what is happening right now is that you're watching there's like a disconnect and you're watching it play out in action right now. It's not this guy's age. That's part of it. But I think it's also because he's so far removed from the employee experience. He's thinking everyone loves his company like he does. See, your company is not my baby. I don't care about your company. I care about my paycheck. So there's the disconnect because if I hire somebody to be my receptionist for PX Credit Solutions, I understand that that person does not love this company like I do. They're not going to put in the sleepless nights like I would. And I wouldn't expect them to.
Credit Solutions.
So there's also a little bit of I even want to say it's a classist thing. And you'll see if we play the whole video, this guy is definitely a classist because that China remark is definitely part of the issue as well. He told you without telling you where he stands. Okay. I know what kind of guy that is. Absolutely.
But you remember when we defined what quiet quitting was?
Oh, doing your job?
Yes.
Which actually isn't quitting. It's actually just called coming in and doing my job description.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. It's not
so
quitting
how did
at all.
that become lazy? Because I'm not there 12, 14, 16 hours a day working for free because you ain't gonna pay me no more. You're not the type to pay me no more if you're bringing China into a conversation that was not even welcome.
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to understand, are these people's comprehension, has it just decided to just go out the window?
Yeah.
Tell me, how in the world did China come into the conversation when you heard the employment lawyer specifically and eloquently and rightfully define what quiet quitting is?
Again, a complete disconnect. This is a person that sees the world through a tunnel, and that's all that there is. And if you say something else, well, apparently you're speaking Chinese, also known as Mandarin. So it's like, but that's all I'm saying. This guy is definitely just, it's tunnel vision. He's already at the point, he's made a lot of money. He doesn't have to change his mind, work for him or kick rocks.
Okay. Work for him, because Mr. O'Leary is of the same mindset as well.
Yeah.
If you're quiet quitting, you don't belong in my company. Oh, you mean if I give you free labor?
And look at the Chinese, honestly, and I'm not even going to go there too deep, but look at the Chinese and look at Japan. There's a reason that there are like sectors of people that are unaliving themselves. I'm sad to say, because these are people that are being overworked, right? They have to wake up in the middle of the night and answer emails and stuff like that. It's like, this is ridiculous. Really look at the work culture over there. They deserve to take over if that's how they're going to do it, because I need to get sleep. I'm sorry. That it just is what it is.
Okay, listen. Joan says, I think the lady on the right looks like Selena Gomez. She probably does. We're going to get back to it in a
Girl, her
second.
eyes was darting back and forth. The lady that's on the side of him. I was like, oh, she's looking scared.
Here's what I'm also thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into it a little bit more. Let me get.
I know, girl, because I could go on about that little bitty clip.
Let's get into it some more, because if we're going to examine something, we need to examine it fully.
I think Mandarin is the national language there.
Not exactly.
Santana Maynard.
Go ahead.
I think it's hard to say that things are so black and white. I think, yes, there are people that are lazy, but this is such a phenomenon now that I think we should look into it. I was a former teacher, and I feel like I silent quit to pursue my passion right now, which is voiceover. But it's during that time I was a teacher, there was poor leadership, it was low pay, and the kids were great. The kids were awesome, but everyone was stressed out. And it's more about quality over quantity.
Hunter, you say she's describing the hustle culture, and you say this is a protest against the hustle culture.
In my opinion, I believe quiet quitting is a protest for workers' rights. If I work at a job and my job description is 9 to 5 and I'm supposed to do A, B, and C, and at 5 o'clock I'd like to go home to my friends and family and focus on other parts of my life that are frankly more important than work, and my employer says, hey, we actually need you to do X, Y, Z for no extra pay, I'm going to resist that, because I don't find that work is the most important thing in my life, nor do I think it should be the most important in anybody's lives. I think down the road, you can have all the money in the world, but if 50 years from now you didn't spend that time with your friends or family or yourself, I don't feel that that's a very beneficial, it's not a very fulfilling life. And so I think our generation is tired of working to live.
I also think it's unfair to just assume that they're lazy if they're not working in the office. It's not about being lazy. I think it's about where you apply, where you work hard. For me, I did my job. I got my job done every day, and then I applied my hard work to what I did outside of work because it was what I was passionate about.
I worry about the social media. I mean, you kind of see the videos and you're getting all these views and likes about it, but you're not really having, I think, a real conversation. You're expressing this idea of quiet quitting that then is spreading across people that are thinking, well, hey, my employer is a bad person. All employers are bad people. All they care about is profit. That's not true. There's so many great employers out there that do care about their employees, and that's not being portrayed. And you're, I think, spreading this notion to people that's causing a lot of issues. I mean, you look at productivity right now in our country, that has fallen. We've had the worst decline since the late 1940s.
Do you have a story or a question for me?
Okay. That's the end of the first video. All right, Mary. Let me see what you have to say. Mary, the people who are against quiet quitting are also the ones who hate remote work. I was going to touch on that, but go ahead. They want to see you first in the office and last out. Mary, you are correct about that, darling.
Mary know what's up.
Mary know what's going on. Mary
For
know
sure.
what time it is. I played that portion because that's unfortunately, the opposing side for Mr. Wonderful there on his show. I'm surprised he didn't cut them off, because in the full clip, he does cut them off quite often, I might add. Yeah. So let me prep the other. Let me see here. The other clip. Hold on a second. While you guys doing that, listen, I want to know, guys, based on what we've watched so far, Mr. thinking that because people are not literally busting their behinds every day and staying extra and
Finding a job
working
that allows you
for free, thinks that that's lazy. How is doing your job as it's specified on your job description lazy? Can you guys answer that question for me?
And have you ever been told that at your job that like, hey, this is your job description, but we actually expect you to do 50% more? Because I have been in the workforce. Obviously I won't say my age, but I've been in the workforce for at least a good 20 years now. And here's my thing. I remember having jobs along the way where when I did more and went above and beyond, I was told to sit the F down and stop. And that is not in my job description. And get back to what I'm supposed to actually be doing. So see, that's the part that Dr. Phil and all these old heads in this video are leaving out. They're forgetting
invisible pearls, honey. They said sit the hell down. Ooh.
Because we all know as younger people come into the workforce as well, let's really talk about this because these people are not really thinking about the repercussions. If you have some smart people that just came off the street with their degrees and all that, oh, they know that they're smarter than you in a lot of ways and they're quicker. What is it? The number one law in Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power? Never outshine the master. Well, if I come in and I work extra hard and I'm giving you ideas for your business, guess what? Eventually, I'm going to outshine you and you're going to loud fire me anyway. So, right? There ain't going to be no quiet fire and you going to let me go.
So
right?
They're going to take their ideas and start their own and compete against you.
Thank you. Cool. So they're not really talking about how this dynamic actually looks in the office, because you all know that one person that does a whole lot in the office and is just, they're doing too much. Sometimes the boss does not like that person. So what about the repercussions when we start going above and beyond like they're telling us to? We're still going to end up unemployed. There's a good chance.
There's a good chance of that happening too. So either way you slice it, make sure you get what you want out the deal. What do I always say on this channel? You are in the job market, or you're starting your business to fund what? Your economic life.
Your personal economy is literally the only economy that truly matters, right? That is it. And can we just touch on real fast? The new retirement age is 67. You mean to tell me I'm going to be busting my butt literally for the next 30 plus years just because you want me to? Just because you want me to. I'm not putting in another 30 years of extra hard work for someone else's empire. I'm not doing it.
Not for nobody else's, my own.
Right. You sign me on to do this specific job. Girl, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm sorry.
Listen, SB, employers want access 24/7. Are they paying me 24/7?
Girl, they want to be.
There's a limit on their pay. Now, if I have my own business, I want to be able to make money 24/7. That is what technology is for. Correct, SB?
That's what automation is for as well. And these old head companies need to get into it or get left behind. Automation makes it so I don't have to overdo my job. How about that?
Nonprofit doesn't do it all the time. Yes. Hence the reason they get all the funding. But at the end of the day, folks, there is in its proper definition, because what I'm despising more than anything is people misrepresenting what these terms actually mean, because the definition doesn't fit with their perspective on what they want their employees to do versus what they're actually doing.
They're demonizing doing your job.
They're demonizing doing your job as specified on your job description, which they wrote, by the way. Wait. Because as HR, HR is the one that helps to put those job descriptions together. Okay.
Let me mute myself because, girl, oh Lord.
Okay. So
it's like you did the job description.
That's the job description. And now you want more than what the job description. And if you want more, darling, you have to pay for it.
It's like a bad relationship. What do you want from me?
You got to pay for it, Sugar Bear. You got to pay for it. Is this the one that we just did?
They want your soul.
No. Okay.
Look at him. He even looked like he want my soul. A mess.
Okay. Yes, Big Daddy. He says, what do you think about the clause other duties as assigned so they can add more job duties as they see fit? Yes, I understand that. That is added there for that purpose, but it is not carte blanche license to abuse you either.
Especially not if you're hourly on top of that. No.
No, if you're hourly, they're going to most likely be very careful about what they have you staying back for because they got to pay for that.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that. So I wanted,
because pay for it. But a lot of times, a lot of this abuse is taking place with people that are salary or I'm sorry, it's usually salaried employees,
the exempt ones,
employees that end up in this particular malarkey because we get to work, we get the flexibility, but we also get to be on call in some cases, not in all, because I exercise my boundaries. But
and it depends on your industry, because some people can't coast or just do their job description. It's just not in it. It's not like if you're a nurse, I'm sorry, you're going to be doing more. So
depends on the industry you're in as well.
Yeah,
that is very true. That is very true. So let's before we jump in, Mary also is saying, let me grab the other video, get it lined up in a second. We're not gonna go to it just yet. Mary says employers traps unlimited PTO. You're right, you don't ever get to use it. Unlimited PTO, in office lunch, snacks, games, and healthcare. When companies don't have that, quiet quitting is rampant. Yeah, some of them will give you the unlimited PTO.
Yep.
But do you have a chance to actually use it because of all the stuff they throw at you?
I will say this.
I
am associated with the company that just started that. And I got to tell you, y'all, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. But like you said, if you're in the wrong industry, you will not be able to take advantage. Now, like I said, with what I do, it's very different because y'all, if I get 10 files, that's all I'm doing and I'm out. And then if I need 7 days off, I can get it.
Ooh la la.
I'm just saying, but I don't think it's always gonna be that way though. That's the thing. I don't think it's always going to be that way. I don't.
I mean, I've been in HR for 20 plus years. Maybe I'm in the wrong business, honey.
Honestly, I will tell you this, with the way that this company is structured, like it's literally, honestly, we're all 1099s if you really think about it. Like that's really how it is where I am.
Not with those unlimited PTOs and benefits.
I swear, because I'm like, are y'all sure y'all want to do this? But then there's times where we're so busy that you could literally work a 10-hour day. But I'm used to that anyway. Like what the heck? It doesn't matter to me. But it does depend on the industry, like you said. Like if I'm sitting and looking at stuff all online, I don't really have to talk to people. I don't have to do that much. I'm just looking at files and get them out of my workspace, and that's it, you know?
This is true. This is true. Mary said, what you're not going to do is threaten me to stay late when I only get 2 weeks of vacation.
10 actual business days. Let's really be real about what it is. 10 business days.
Mary, we see you. Okay. Oh, hello, Miss Joan. How you doing? Welcome to the live. I see a lot of salary paid employees getting taken advantage of all the
yes,
girl, because they don't have to pay you $1 more. That's why they put you in that category.
Mm-hmm.
They put you in that category and then load you up with twice the amount of work until you figure out how to do it all in less time.
So, the other thing that's interesting, Shelly, that I think people need to pay attention to as well, the reason that a lot of these employers are getting upset about the quiet quitting and coasting with remote workers specifically is because when you work from home, you get a premium for actually working at home. A lot of these companies either pay your internet or a portion of it, or they have to pay you more based on where you live. Like when I was in LA County, by law, they had to actually pay me more once the pandemic hit. And that was my set rate forever. So I literally got a big pay increase just because of the county that I lived in. I was like, oh.
That also comes back to bite you in the butt in reverse, because there's some employers, I forgot which employers, that if you move out of the state of where they are, they're also going to pay you based on the state that you're in. So
that's why I got to be quiet, because I don't want y'all knowing who I'm connected to.
Right,
because
right.
this company, they don't do that.
Right. There's some companies that are doing that too. They come
Most
for
of
your
them.
money too.
Yeah,
So
most of them. Yeah.
it works. It works in reverse too. So
Yeah.
be grateful you're with the right employer, darling. Okay.
Yeah, and really
So-
think about it, because we could use it to our advantage. Like, I could move to California, just as an example, or Austin, Texas, or wherever they're raising rates right now, right? I could live in a metropolitan city that pays very, very well for remote workers by law, and then I could just move. I can move to Podunk, Kansas, and I'd be able to seriously invest everywhere I want. This is if the company doesn't change my rate, right?
Right.
You
So
know?
the thing of it is, people, as I said, people are going to make decisions first to supplement and to enrich their own personal economy. Then you have to figure out either the job, the business, or the side hustle that is going to fund your personal economy. The job is a tool. Always remember that, folks. The job is a tool. So these folk
Not
here
a lifeline.
doing the most and talking about all this and that, because their perception as employers, there's a perception as company owners, thinks that everybody that they hire is going to have the same mentality that yes, they put their blood, sweat, and tears into a company, but they've also set it up so other people can do the work, so they can reap the benefits, so they're not working as hard anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they expect people to have that same mentality. No, people are going to have that same mentality about their own empire they're trying to build outside of your job. So it's the double standard for me, because you want people to dedicate all of their time, because we talked about how Equifax wants you to, has in their employment clauses that they don't want people to work another job unless they get permission.
Authorization.
Y'all know how I feel about that. Y'all know how I feel about. I am a grown woman. I am not asking no damn body for no permission to work somewhere else. Because if I have to do that, I don't need to be at your job.
Right.
Point blank and the period. There are way too many employers out there.
It's like high school. It's like you have to ask to do everything. Can I go to the bathroom, please? Like, can I go get a drink of water? I'll come back, I swear. Give me the hall pass, you know? Stupid.
We'll take your hall pass and throw it in your face. When's
the last time you raised your hand to ask permission for something? Like, really? Let's really be real, you know? They're bringing it back, girl.
Come on. SB says, that's what happened to me in a nonprofit when I wasn't in middle management. I had to resign because they wanted too much with low pay. Exactly. It now, see, just like how they can say, this is no longer a good fit. They were no longer a good fit for your personal economy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. They didn't want to respect your boundaries because they didn't want you to have one. How dare you want to take charge of your personal time outside of work? How dare you have a personal life with this job? Oh my goodness. It's called a job.
Yeah.
Not my life. The job.
Do you see a
purpose within the scope of my life? It is serving a purpose within the scope of my life. It is not my life.
Right.
And with that, let's get into video number 2, because you go see them showing their tail in 2.2 seconds. Here we go.
Freedom, happiness, and the flexibility to enjoy your life. I mean, that's great if you can do it. And we just had a question for Amy before the break about how do you find passion in a job that's just a means to an end? How do you want to answer that, Amy? I've sure got an answer.
Sure. For you in particular, you want to be an actor. What a beautiful opportunity for you to get used to being in an uncomfortable situation, putting in that extra work, because if you get those roles you really want, you're going to be working long, hard days. And what a great opportunity for you to practice your craft and your acting while you're moving boxes, while you're in the storehouse. Be the best person you can be in that job, because you don't know those skills you're learning you're going to need later.
Is that not quiet quitting?
Yes.
Doing another job while you're working is like, you say go in and be passionate, give your all, do your best, but him going into work and practicing acting, is that fair to his employer?
Well, but that job doesn't require 100% of everything.
But I'm speaking to her point. She said you should. go in and give your all no matter what your job is. Waiting tables.
He's in a good mindset. He's thinking through things of what he wants. He's meditating on the things he's going towards, saying this job is going to elevate me to where I want to be.
He's
being in a
working
positive
his job. So it's a means. So it's a means to an end.
Thank you. It's
essentially a means to an end. When you get those jobs, that's what I'm saying. It's not about the passion or the hard work or how dedicated you are as a worker or how good you are an employee. It's about if I'm a hard worker, I'm going to go into my work. I'm going to do exactly what I'm required to do. And then I'm going to put my true hardworking effort into what I'm passionate about.
You took remote working to a whole new level, right?
Yeah.
Cut.
So
as you come off?
What did you do? You converted a van, right?
Yeah. So I used to work for the government. I used to work 9 to 5 on the F-35 program, and then I worked for DARPA for about a year. And then when the pandemic sent everyone to...
You're not going to have to kill us if you tell us what you said.
I can't talk about it, but...
okay, go ahead.
But yeah, and then when the pandemic sent us full telework, I had always thought about living in a van. I thought it would be cool to travel and do all that, but I never really had the time or really the money. And then when I had the full-time job and I was able to work from home, it kind of became a reality and I was able to pursue it. And I decided to build a van, and I built the van while working my full-time job. So I was working 9 hours a day and then after work every day for 6 hours for 6 months straight and every weekend. So I had no social life, no free time. Put that hard work into something that I was passionate about. And then I traveled the country while still working my full-time job for just about 7 months. And then I figured that I was building a following online. I could pursue it full time. So I quit my job about 5 months ago, and here we are today.
And you all see me working very hard. What I'm hearing.
Okay. Press pause. Let's stay there for a second. Now, isn't that what we all want? We're working to fund our own economy so we can structure it the way we want, so we can do what the hell we want. That sounds like a beautiful plan. But guess what? He did exactly what was required on the job.
Yeah.
And he allocated his funds properly to live in a van, which he probably saved a crap load of money, so he could fund the business and tell the job deuces. Here's part of why I personally think these CEOs or these leaders are so against quiet quitting. Because there's more employees becoming employers through the process. Because people are no longer dedicating their entire lives. Because that was the old adage of the 1950s and 1960s and 1970s and 1980s. Even the 1990s when we were coming up. Go to work, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree so you can work at a good company for X amount of years, get a pension, and go sit out somewhere. That entire adage, that entire mindset has been blown out the window by technology. There's so many other choices now. And part of the fear, there's a couple reasons. I'm going to finish the video. But a couple of the reasons I personally think they're so adamant about giving the negative connotations to quiet quitting, because a lot of employers are used to being in the power seat. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. They're so used to being the one that dictates what happens, or you have to stay, you have to do this, you have to do that. And people are now in the position to say, I am going home at this day and time. I am not staying extra. This will be done tomorrow. I'm not answering no emails past XYZ. People have boundaries. They're pissed people are exercising boundaries. They're also, at one point or another in our history, slave owners were pissed off that slaves were standing up. Because in a lot of ways, the way they're behaving, it's like modern day slavery, but they just have to be nice about it when the cameras are on. Let's be clear. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And because you no longer have power, they're trying to put a lot of things now. I can almost guarantee a lot of employment clauses are going to start including you can't have a second job, and if you do, you need permission. And you have to this and you have to that, and you have to try to jump through all these hoops because they want to maintain some form of control over people. People work for you, folks. People work for you. They are not your slaves. And the fact that people are taking full control over their time, you can make money 50 times over. You cannot get back your time. People are making the conscious choice to take control of their time, which is what that guy did. And I love it. He bust his he bust his behind. Let me come back. Let me come on back.
Ow.
He bust his behind to do what he needed to do to get what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these employers are ticked off that now that wonderful talent that can make them money, he's making money for himself now. And it's no longer it's no longer being funneled into their company. That's part of it. Another part of it is, you want to control their time. And because people are now saying, no, when 5 o'clock hit, I'm done. I'm going to work on my own stuff. Well, you're not working hard enough and you're not putting in the extra mile. Extra mile for what? For free? Let me get in these comments. Hold on one second. Miss Barry. It upsets some people that people do not want the traditional lifestyles. How dare he live his life on his life on his own terms.
Yep. It's true.
Do you notice how the one that talked about how quiet quitters are lazy, and that same lady that just said it out her mouth, he said, but isn't that quiet quitting? Because they catch them in their own foolishness. And then all of a sudden, you got to twist up something to try to figure out something else negative to say when you just straight up describe quiet quitting. Because that's what a lot of them did to get their companies and to get where they are financially.
Bingo. And she goes into a lot of stuff, which I don't know if you're going to cover it, but whatever. I'll just wait. But the other thing, Shelly, I want to call everybody's attention to this too. I think a lot of these higher ups are upset because now their regular employees have learned a loophole to live that upper management lifestyle where I come in, I do very little and I still get paid the same. Remote work and the pandemic really showed a lot of us what that VIP life is like.
Why do you think they're fighting against overemployment so hard?
Yep, because they don't want us to have that lifestyle.
People have access to the income to really make it happen in a lot less time.
There you go.
And I'm a career coach that's always going to encourage you to become a better version of yourself, and especially in the area of putting more money in your pocket so you could put your plan together and do what you really want.
There you go.
I'm not about to sit up here talking about, you should be the model employee between 9 to 5, which is what you agreed to work. And then go do what you want afterwards.
Yep. I love what Mary's saying right there. That's exactly it, Mary.
Mary, you are on it. One thing, the pandemic, they didn't expect people to figure it out.
They thought we'd be too scared.
I'd be darned. They think social media was only for their commercials. It is social media. It is also media. Media pays if you use it the way you're supposed to.
There you go.
Ding, 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 ding. So you think those newscasters are sitting there at the teleprompter like we're sitting on a computer now for fun? No, they get paid. Yeah. And YouTubers that get to a certain point, they get paid too.
Biggest mistake they ever made was taking us out of offices. That was the biggest mistake because, like I said,
the thing about it is it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake.
Now, how do you see it from that?
What it is that work in its finest definition can be done in a lot of sectors, in a lot of industries from anywhere.
Yes,
it can.
Yeah.
And a lot of employers are not, especially the boomer generation. As Josh Flute, that's another YouTuber that I love to watch because he did this video. He did a reaction to this as well. He likes to call them boomers because they do have that mentality where, God forbid, you think something different other than people need to be in your office. People need to be at the office for 14 hours and only get paid for 8 and be happy with it. Get out of here. Yep. People are not stupid because you're not gonna work for free. So why do you expect other people to do that?
Because you need it. You need the money. What about your family, Shelly?
That's what side hustles are for. Because when I'm at work for it, I'm gonna get paid for it.
That's what I'm saying. Like when they gave that much time freedom back to people, people started to really appreciate their life, and they realized there was more than work.
People got their priorities together.
There you go. Yes.
If this whole situation didn't do anything else for people, it gave people to take a hard, good look at their lives.
Yeah.
And they got their priorities together, because people can make $1 million if they do the right things and they have the right investments over and over again. Nobody can give you back your time, because once the time is gone, it's gone. And they started prioritizing time with their family over money. That child is not going to stay 5 years old forever. It's only that 1 year. So people figured out a way. If I can make this much, not going into an office, if I can do this much, if I can do this, and I can bring home that, and I can do this on a regular basis, or I can become a consultant like I am, offer my services and my experience for a set free to X amount of clients, I'll make twice as much as I make working a regular job, which takes the same amount of time. So what am I going to do? Work the same amount and make twice the amount of money, or work half the amount of money? What option do you think I'm going to go with? Deuces to the JOB if you figure that out. A lot of people figured that out. Thanks to the internet. Thanks to technology, thanks to social media. A lot of people left the plantation and did not return. Part of the big part of Great Resignation was that. And they're pissed because they lost their best talent, because their best talent is giving them hell in the marketplace. Their best talent is giving them competition in the marketplace. They're like, ooh, let's crack down on this before the rest of the talented ones go. So there's really an agenda behind it. Because everybody understands what it really means. But based on the connotations they're putting on it, that's not the real definition. The real reason you hate it is because of how it's hitting you on the bottom line. Negative, right. Of course. Let's jump back into this video. We're gonna finish this up. But I want to make sure you guys understand the perspective. There's an agenda behind all this. Let's jump back in.
And the danger I see in you people, and I'll say
you people. Notice you said
you're working hard. It sounds
well.
Whoa. Why they gotta be you people? Can't they just be people? Well, because they're employed. They were employees at one point.
I'm just glad there wasn't a black one up there, because that could have went far left.
The classism in his statement, it literally just screamed out at me. You were right.
He had me at China.
But you're promoting not working hard.
That's not what we're promoting at all.
Listen,
what we're saying and what you're hearing are two different things.
Thank you.
Lazy. We're saying we're not
lazy. I said there's lazy people out there.
We need to be clear about what the problem is.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I remember him saying quiet quitting is lazy. Did you not in the other video? Because I can play it again. Because just in case you're not sure, guys, the link for those two videos is in the description of this live. He did say quiet quitters are lazy. So now that you look stupid, now you're backtracking. Miss me with the foolishness. Let's continue.
You're lazy. Now, what I'm hearing from you is a completely different story than people that I see that you're talking to.
Yeah, they don't sound like quiet quitters to me.
They do not sound like quiet quitters.
The people I talk to?
It's like you're saying one thing, but you're doing something else. You're telling everybody else, be quiet, don't work too hard, don't push too hard. You're working hard, I can tell. You sound like you're working hard. So do you. And how can you guys promote this to other people? You're making them like, oh, I'll just be lazy because these guys.
No, what you seem to be misunderstanding, Mr. I forgot what the name of his company is that quiet quitting, the actual definition of it, is not fitting the agenda you're trying to fulfill here. Because he heard them explain it. And he understands that journey because he had to go through it to get where he is.
Right.
But because you want to demonize the term, quiet quitters are not lazy. Because none of what they said was lazy. They did what they had to do at a job to work to get to a point where they didn't need one. That's not quiet quitting. That's somebody that's ambitious. Now you're going to try to kill their ambition because you hate the buzzword
Mhm.
because it means that you're not going to get more work from people for less money. You can't lowball people anymore.
He's mad that they have the sauce now. They have the secret sauce.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
That's it. He's mad they broke a barrier. That's it.
There
That's all
you
this is.
There you go.
And now he has to adjust.
Yeah.
Missed the mark. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I think a lot of other people miss the mark too. What you're saying?
No, I
You to be
think
clear.
you're wrong, and here's why. We're telling people to put effort in a place where it produces a valuable return.
Thank
We're
you.
not saying slack off and undermine your boss. We're saying, listen,
Ooh.
your employer isn't upset that you're not working hard. They're upset that you're not working hard for them and making money for them. Now,
Preach.
do your job.
Mm.
Do what is expected of you.
Preach.
But conserve your best efforts for something that actually pushes you
Why
forward.
is it either or?
I don't think it has to be, but the
This
emotions
dude.
get so high, sometimes we
But
look
that's
at it
what
that
you're
way.
saying. You know, check the
See-
boxes,
See it?
save yourself for something else. I'll tell you, everything I've ever done has prepared me for what I'm now doing.
Boomer.
And I'm fortunate in that. If I'd have been selling shrimp out of a van in a river, maybe that wouldn't have been the case. But everything I've ever done, you know, I worked at a grocery store like you're talking about. And so I worked with people a lot.
Mhm.
Really, everything I've ever done has prepared me for what I'm doing now.
That's the human experience. I was a
That's
firefighter
great.
before I was a
Yeah.
lawyer.
Thank you.
And that surprises a lot of people. Not a lot of folks leave that profession to do this one. But as we grow up, sometimes our interests and our values do change.
Exactly.
What I will say is, look, if I am an employer, I have employees too. I expect my employees to meet my standard. And my standard is pretty rigorous. That's on us. We're the ones who hire them and make the job description. If you're not happy with an employee doing the job you told them to do, the way you told them to do it,
You
Hold
called
on.
it. You called it. You called it.
I'm sorry. Did he just say? Did he start making sense again? Did he just say?
I love it.
In
You
the job
called it.
description. So because people are following the job description as specified, you mad and not doing more.
Yeah.
But you created the job description for what you want. You have to specify. I also offer services like this as a HR consultant. If you're structuring your business and you want people to do specific things in the business, you have to put it in the job description here.
Mhm.
So you as that guy as an employer, you want that from your employees, you put it in the job description. They have to choose whether they want to work it or not.
I noticed nobody's being specific about this going above and beyond. Nobody's telling us
But you-
what it is we're supposed to be doing.
There because they're sitting in front of an employment lawyer, and you cannot tell people to work for free because that's illegal. That's why.
And you know they got briefed before they went out there in front of that man too. Their
Yes,
legal teams were like, "Hey, don't say shit."
exactly. They're vehemently trying to use quiet quitting to say, "Oh, you need to work extra," but you can't legally say that because you can't ask people to work extra and not pay them for it.
Do you think it hurts the cause though, or it hurts what quiet quitting truly is when we have so many people on social media misrepresenting what it is? Because a lot of people don't get it, and they're still doing videos, and it's like you're messing it up for a lot of people.
It's like overemployment.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of employers that don't want people to do it. So they're going to speak vehemently against it, even when they're absolutely wrong about what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Canopy CEO is one of that. You can actually go watch that video, guys. I posted that a couple of days ago. Canopy CEO completely obliterated what overemployment is, and he fired 2 people because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're poor performers. Poor performance is not overemployment, and he tried to make the two synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to redefine words because the actual definition doesn't fit your narrative. So now you want to redefine it so you can demonize what it is because what it's actually producing you don't like. Although it's not illegal for people to do something outside of their job to better themselves professionally and to better themselves economically, because overemployment or because quiet quitting, which is really
Mhm.
just doing your job as specified,
Right.
is not enriching the employer anymore. And they now, if they want extra work, they either have to hire a consultant or pay somebody hourly to handle what more they need. Because they weren't thorough when they were doing their hiring in the first place.
And are they just resisting change? Is that what this is also?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Of
because that's
course.
all I see. I just see people digging their heels in. It's like there's nothing more to it for me
I
than
wanted to
that.
stay this way. I don't want to change.
Yeah, that's
A lot of
it.
that, a lot of that verbally is going on in this video right now.
Yeah,
A lot of it's going on.
it's very obvious.
Let's just listen to the rest of it. As much as I may stop, I'm not gonna lie to you. I may stop if I hear something else. If I hear some more malarkey.
They're so
Some of them.
smug.
Yeah, they're so snug.
It's quiet quitting. That's not good enough.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click
Okay.
the link in the
Let's finish.
description and tell me what in the
There's more to it than that, guys. But
So much more.
there's so much more to it. But you can go ahead and find it on let me just get out of the stop screen. Yeah, there's so much more to it than what is being shown. Those are just two clips that I wanted to pick those two clips so you guys can get a better assessment of what quiet quitting is from an attorney's perspective, because those two CEOs is saying one thing and flip-flopping on the next when truth hits them across the face. If you notice, when they said, oh, well, you worked hard in the warehouse and you can use those skills when you're getting acting gigs and when you're doing this and you're doing that. I said, and then the guy said, well, isn't that quiet quitting? You're learning. Yeah. But isn't that quiet quitting? He's working here as a means to an end so he can pursue what he really wants to do.
Right.
So when she got hit with that fact, then she started backtracking and saying something else. The same thing with Mr. I want to mention China, although nobody talked about them. Quiet quitting is lazy. No, that's not true. But
can we mention who was that the guy with the VP? That's his 20-something-year-old son?
Yes, his 20-something-year-old son. And he said, well, usually what happens is they hire, because they can remember what the attorney said in the first video. The attorney said in the first video, when people work hard and become invaluable to a company in that specific position, they usually do not get promoted. They pretty much get placed in that position, or they either hire outside for leadership, or they place their son. They place their son or their child in the position, which is exactly what happened, because that's that dude's son. That's the VP of his company.
Yeah. And like I said, they're just upset that the general public has found their little chess move that they can use now, because they're always going to need bodies and everybody's not ready to outsource to another country. So they're still looking for American workers. Okay. And people are still graduating university, right? They still have expectations of what their income is going to be, which a lot of them overshoot it. But
and then there's also people that are learning independently, that are learning what they can do without a degree, without having to spend thousands of dollars to learning. People are learning to code on their own. If they have the determination and the drive to get this thing done, they can get it done without a college degree, and probably better, and run circles around people that do.
Yeah. And I'm smiling so hard because I'm so proud of just people in general right now, because they're really starting to see what the kind of power they truly have. And these CEOs are shook, y'all. The Bed Bath & Beyond guy jumped out of a window. Like, come on.
This is really what's happening here.
And that's not funny. I'm sorry.
No. I personally think that they're so upset that people have figured out the way to get out of the rat race.
100%.
Or the way to make their economic life what they want it to be, versus what they've been having to settle for without all the technology and all of what is now available to us in 2022 and beyond.
And speaking of China, just to add, let's talk about a teacher real fast. A teacher, during this entire situation that happened over the last couple of years, has now discovered they can just teach English to Chinese children, conversational English. They can work their own hours, be a tutor online, and have a whole business set up around that. And they ain't got to go into nobody's school district. They ain't got to worry about getting tenured. They ain't got to do nothing. Every job has an angle. You can do it yourself at home,
ma'am,
in your own business.
And a lot of those teachers are getting paid more than the teachers in school.
And they set their own rate. Like, I'm telling you, this is a great time to be alive. This is something else.
At the end of the day, folks, I wanted to go over this because I wanted you guys to understand. You hear these buzzwords, but you also have to understand what is going on. Why there's reaction on both sides of the coin. You have employers that have been employers for 30, 20, 30, 40 years that have this moniker, this mindset that, oh, Johnny has to come in and do work extra and do all this extra work for us to see him.
Yep.
In a lot of cases, that's not going to get you ahead. It's more of a popularity contest, to be quite honest. In some companies, there are some companies that do recognize your effort, but we are in a day and time where that's not the only way to be successful. You can be successful doing your own thing. You can open a Shopify store. There's so many ways you can become a consultant with the knowledge base you have. Mm-hmm. You can offer, there's creative consultants, there's teaching consultants, there's, in my case, HR consultants that can offer services in a package or specific services or advisement on any kind of employment encroachment that they're having, workers' comp issues, short-term disability issues, benefits issues, process development, all kinds of things. That's just a small sector of what human resources is involved with. And because I'm a generalist by trade, I haven't been involved in all of those things. Payroll, you name it, I've touched it. Recruitment. So those are services I offer. I always tell you guys, remember, the difference between you and the business owner is that as a person that has a job, you only have one client. A business owner has more than one client. And if you have more than one client, you can set the rate that you want, or competitive rate if you want to make sure you catch business and stay in business. And you also want to make sure that you have enough clients to take care of your responsibilities and beyond. And it's very easy to increase your bottom line when you set up in that manner. You can become a seller of products. You can become an Amazon reseller. You can set your own website and run ads to your stuff. There's so many ways. And I want you guys to make sure you explore all of those ways. If you are looking to get into business and you are not sure, okay, you may need to start working on your personal credit so that your business credit can get you what you want. I have Credit Solutionist here. Go to fixmyficonow.com to make sure that you can get started on that credit journey so you can really get what you want. If what it is that you want to do career-wise involves credit, or you're going to need to lean into credit to get what you want, whether you go into real estate investing in any way, shape, or form, of course, I always refer to Erica Williams, Classy Climb blog. She has a lot of videos talking about that subject and what's necessary to get into real estate investing. There's also some friends of mine from high school that they just started their movement. They're rehab kings. Let me make sure I have their information. I don't know if they know that I'm shouting them out right now on my live, but known them for a very, very long time. They're high school buddies of mine. They literally just started their academy. That's all they do. They're experts in that field.
So they're real estate rehab, you said?
Oh yeah, they have
flip and
they flip. They keep
cool.
They hold on. They do a lot of different things. They're a family group. Let me get the name. Oh my goodness. I was just
and this is what your employer doesn't want you doing. Like, they don't want you thinking outside the box and how you can become your own empire. They don't want you doing that. Right?
Your name, your first last name.com. What it is that you offer. What is it that you can, what can you turn into? What is it that you know? What's your knowledge base? Can you become a service provider for that?
And think about what you do right now. Whatever it is that you do, your employer's probably shook that you're going to take those skills and do your own thing with them. Seriously. Like you said, there's definitely a lot going on with this entire thing. And it's just entertaining to see them so scared, you know?
It's not even to say scared. It's kind of like a narcissist getting fearful because you figure out they're a narcissist and they operate from that premise. Okay.
That's so true.
The name of the group I'm talking about is the rightway360.com. They're a family. I know the parents of the family because we all went to high school together, and we all were in chorus together, if you can believe that. Beautiful. Spent all 4 years in chorus with both of them, and they have a beautiful family now that they're doing awesome in the real estate space, if that's where you want to get started. If you want to get your career together, or you want to have your children start off in the right way, and you don't know, or you may need some resources to help you with that, you can definitely check out my resource at mentorshelley.com/book. You can go ahead and grab that for the children. You want to make sure that, guys, if you are also going through some things and you are having to deal with an employer like the ones that we just watched, and you want to get the hell out of Dodge, then let's you book a consultation with me at mentorshelley.com/consultations. I am more than happy to help you get a strategy together so you can get the hell out of Dodge and leave and get with an employer that makes a lot more sense, and don't bring China into an unwelcome conversation.
And don't be telling your coworkers what you up to either. Like, don't do that. Keep it to yourself. Come here and talk to us, okay?
Okay, keep your business to yourself. Do not tell,
because people be wondering, I'm gonna leave this place and start my ice cream shop. Don't be telling people.
Keep your business to yourself. Okay. If you're doing overemployment, or if you want to be overemployed, you can also use the consultation links as well. Guys, for those of you that joined the live tonight, we appreciate you joining. We appreciate all of those who joined us tonight. Mary, thank you so much for watching and coming along and participating in the live. SB, we appreciate all of your contributions to the live. John, of course, our resident alien, of course, with Credit Solutionist, of course. Thank you so much. All right. And I'm ready. TCS, I just referred my monthly report and I'm ready for more rounds. Okay. So
I got you, girlie.
Is talking to Joan is a current client of Credit Solutionist. So she is definitely working to get her credit solutions together to fit whatever it is that she's getting ready to do economically. So it's so important, guys. For sure. We're already working with, of course, Big Daddy Still Rocks 29. Thank you so much for being the first to join our live tonight. Guys, I want to make sure you become a better version of yourself professionally. Of course, Joan. Of course. You're welcome. I appreciate you guys joining us. But most of all, what I want you to take from this, there are going to always be people that have a difference of opinion when it comes to quiet quitting or quiet firing or overemployment. And you have to, number one, understand what they're really talking about, understand the perspective they're coming from, and understand where you fit, you as an individual, you having your own personal economy, where that fits in. I'm a career coach, but I'm also an HR consultant. I'm here to help the professionals become a better version of themselves professionally, but I'm also here to help companies, decent companies that don't think their employees are slaves, become better with their systems, with their processes, making sure that their job descriptions are treating their human resources like humans and not robots and slaves.
There you go.
All right, guys, listen, Credit Solutionist, any last words?
Oh gosh, you took the words out of my mouth. You guys, take agency, own who you are. And that's it. Like I said, best time to be alive. Hit me up at my link if subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, let's keep this going, and let's let's really dive into this, because I think we're all going to see what we're really made of in the next few years. So let's lean into it together, you guys. It's not as scary as it seems. So,
All right.
yeah.
All right, guys. Of course, as you guys see there below, go ahead and subscribe to Credit Solutionist YouTube channel. If you guys want to get your credit together, get your credit life together for personal movements or for other economic movements in business, you can go to her website at fixmyfico.com. Of course, guys, you can always find me at mentorshelly.com. And you can also go ahead and if you want to work with me one-on-one in either interviewing, resume writing, career consultations, you can find me at mentorshelly.com/consultations. Guys, we are here to make sure you become a better version of yourself professionally in the career space, in the corporate space, in the business space, and in the credit space. Guys, take care. We appreciate all of you that joined us tonight. Over and out.
Bye.
Bye, guys.